that, like I said, are talented and just can't get out there.
I'm saying you just gotta support your own. There just comes. You have a city like Toronto, which is pretty much Canada's. All eyes are focused right here.
FemFab Productions was founded in May of 1995, and our goal is to promote women in all aspects of the entertainment industry. In front of the camera, behind the scenes, on the turntables, in the producer's booth, everywhere.
Okay. All right. Make sure I got my notes here because this is a special one for me here. And I say that a lot. A lot of my interviews, I'm always like, there's a special one here. There's a special one here. But I mean this one. This time. Right? You know, the thing is, we speak to a lot of rappers, and, you know, we do have an up-and-coming rapper that's also there here with us today as well. But with the guest that I have here, I love to speak to people who are behind the scenes, okay? The movers and shakers, the backbone of the reason why things are in the front. You see what I did right there? Right? So, with no further ado, I have the founder of the all-women showcase, workshop, safe space for women artists who are coming up in the Canadian music scene as well as worldwide. Okay? We have the founder of Honey Jam, FemFat, Ebonnie Rowe in the building. And we also have Vila also in the building. Okay, and we have the Honey Jam that's coming up. And can you give us the dates as far as the whole weekend? Because it's not just one day now, right?
Well, Honey Jam, the artist development program. Well, first of all, thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you for coming.
And a shout out to everyone in your audience. Really happy to be here and grateful for the opportunity to promote what we do.
Thank you.
So Honey Jam is an artist development program, and we do events throughout the year. Songwriting camps, vocal and performance workshops, industry workshops, about publishing, management, all different parts of the industry. Mm-hmm. And then everything culminates with the big concert. So this year is our 27th annual concert. Because we started in 1995.
Yeah.
And so we're super excited about that. And when we first started out, it was specifically related to hip hop. So most of the artists were hip hop and R&B. I would say it was maybe 80% hip hop and 20% R&B in the very early days, because we came out as kind of a response to a lot of the misogyny that was taking place, and we wanted to give women a platform. So there were female DJs, graph artists, beatboxers, etc. Mm-hmm. And then as we evolved, and especially after Nelly Furtado did Honey Jam, then the floodgates opened and we had all different cultures and all different genres of music. Mm-hmm. And so now, like this year, we have one hip hop artist who is the lovely and talented, tiny but mighty Villa.
Hey.
Yes. But hip hop is at our core, at our heart. And DJ Mel Boogie has been our DJ for 27 years. So she's always there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's good to come home to our roots.
And you mentioned Mel Boogie. I was watching back some stuff yesterday. Was Honey Jam the first stage that Mel Boogie ever graced?
Probably
I think she mentioned that.
Biggest stage. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a lot of work for female DJs. You know, they were doing it for the love of it. So there weren't a lot of opportunities. And we started an event after Honey Jam. We started a female DJ event called Women on Wax.
Wow.
Right? That featured a lot of female DJs. So, yeah.
No, that's dope.
Mel's an OG.
Yeah. And also alumni on We Love Hip Hop podcast.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Vila, like, how does it feel like you must be a little bit nervous going into Honey Jam this year being the only hip hop act, no?
Yes, definitely, especially because I felt that I was different from everyone, but I like that I was different. I like that I was able to stand out the way I was, and especially because I do love hip hop, and that definitely is like a huge, inspiration into my music and just influence. So and the fact that Honey Jam had that as a core, hip hop as a core, it's great to be here in the stage and to be performing.
Yeah,
and I like that I was the different. I felt that. Especially with the audition too, I was coming in and everyone that was auditioning before me, they were all singing. They had their guitars, and I'm like, oh no, I don't know, But I was like, I'm gonna do it. I don't care. This is my craft, and I want to showcase
She shut it down. She shut it down.
Yeah, and even with the audition process, right? Like, how many people? And this is a question. Partially for you, Ebonnie, and then also for you, Vila. Okay, with the audition process, how many people are in the audition period, Ebonnie? Like, how many people usually submit?
It varies every year, and to be honest, since reality shows like American Idol, Canada's Got Talent, those types of shows where people can become famous even from doing a poor performance, I find that less people come out to audition. But we only need 15 to 20 for the concert, right? So that's never been an issue.
Yeah.
But we used to have hundreds and hundreds of people lined up around the corner. But that's fine. We get enough, and they're quality artists, and we're happy for the people that are excited about it from across the country. If they can't make the live auditions, they can submit online. And we always get a good group, and it's always very hard to narrow it down.
Yeah.
And is it Villa or Vila?
Villa.
Villa.
Yes.
Villa like Dilla like Killa.
Okay.
Yes.
My bad.
No, that's okay.
So, Villa, with you, the audition process, right?
Yes.
What's your mind state like going into an audition for something like a legacy like Honey Jam? Like, what are you doing to mentally prepare yourself?
Well, the way how I got introduced to Honey Jam was actually from a DJ. This was a DJ that I had worked with doing a live performance, and he told me, he said, have you heard of Honey Jam? And he's like, the auditions are, you should sign up. I think they're starting right now. And then it turns out it was actually that Sunday, it was the cutoff of when to actually audition. So I did it right away. And going into that process, I was like, I need to stand out, even with my outfit too. I had a whole colorful jumpsuit, and I wanted to also show a little bit of hip hop to my side, even when you see me right on the stage. But I was about maybe like 24, but there were still other people behind me too. So there was still a good amount of girls that were there, and some had their guitars, some had, there was a lot of talent for sure. So it was honestly overall like great experience, and just coming in, like the atmosphere, the environment, we were all engaging too. We all met. I was meeting some of the girls, got their Instagrams, and some of them I already had met from the actual Honey Jam, and then getting a lot closer now and actually building these relationships.
Yeah.
I don't think she had a lot of time to prepare because she found out about it so late.
That too. But I find because prior to Honey Jam, the Honey Jam audition, I was doing a lot of live performances on myself and with a group that I'm with. They're NLMG, but we've been very consistent with live performances. So by the time the audition came, I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready. Like, this is something I need. And I already memorized it. And I like doing my audition as well. Instrumental. I like having it instrumental so that way you hear my raw voice.
Yes.
That was something I'm especially really about, especially that it is a live performance. So live audition as well. So I wanted to really show that.
Yeah.
And I tell the artist, you have to be ready all the time. So it shouldn't even be a whole lot of preparation. You should just be, if you're just walking down the street and someone says, can you spit? You should have something ready to go just like that.
There's a saying that people say, always be prepared for the Super Bowl, right? Or stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Also with Ebonnie, I want to go back a little bit. Tell me about FemFat. and starting that company?
So first of all, FemFat is like femme fatale.
Yeah.
And I was running a mentor program called Each One Teach One, and hanging out with teenagers who were all listening to gangster rap at the time. This was the early 90s. And so my female mentees would tell them that their 5-year-old brothers were calling them the B word and the H word. And they don't even know what it is, but they're hearing it on hip hop radio, which was like at noon for a few hours. And it was kind of the wild, wild west. There was no restrictions. You didn't have to have clean versions. So they told me this and how it was affecting how they were then being treated because of how women were denigrated in some of the lyrics. So I spoke to one of the biggest hip hop DJs at the biggest show, DJ X on CKLN. Jeez. And I said, these are some unintended consequences of playing the music without the clean version in the middle of the day. And there's some young ears that are listening to it. And he said, wow, I never thought about that. He goes, why don't you come on my show and talk about it? I said, okay. He goes, well, I'll just give you the whole 3-hour show. You produce it. So meanwhile, I'm working full-time as a legal assistant. I'm running this mentor program. And this man is giving me an opportunity to do something that I have no idea how to do. But I was a disciple of Malcolm X. And he says, if you see a problem, the same time you're pointing your finger at someone else, take a look in the mirror and ask what you're doing to be a part of the solution. So if you're one of those people with all the rah-rah, you better, have some integrity when you're given an opportunity to affect change, and you just figure it out. So that's what I did. I took over the show, Motion, and I'm a Big C, John Bronski. A whole bunch of us worked on that show. And listening was Mic Check Magazine.
Yeah.
And they said, we want you to edit an all-female issue of our magazine. Okay. So again, something I'd never done. Anyway, long story short, we did the magazine and we wanted to have a rap party to celebrate it. We called the party Honey Jam. That's all that Honey Jam was supposed to have been, a celebration of the magazine. And we featured some of the artists, some of the rappers and DJs.
And stop for 1 second. My bad. It was only supposed to just be a one-off thing.
Yes. There was no long-range plan.
That's funny.
So then at the end, people were like, oh my gosh, when's the next one? This was so amazing. I'm like, next one? I'm going back to the office tomorrow and I'm doing the mentor program. This is not what I do. What are you talking about? But for the women, like there was no platform for them to feel comfortable, to feel safe, to feel supported. So when I got up the next morning, I thought, okay, let me just do it for a year and see how it goes. And here we are 27 years later.
Yeah. And even this year with, and it's on the 18th at the
18th of August, right? At the Alma Combo.
There's like a different component that you have going on with it this year as well, or maybe over the last few years. Can you like tell the people about the rollout this year and the online component?
Oh, well, that's because of COVID. So we had our 25th anniversary in 2020. And I have kind of a don't back down personality. And there was no way for our 25th anniversary, I was going to roll over for COVID. We were going to do it somehow, some way, and it was still going to be special. So we went to the legendary Alma Combo that just had a multi-million-dollar reno. Amazing sound, light, stage, visuals. So we did it there and we did a free live stream and it turned out to be amazing. So we didn't have a choice because you couldn't have an audience.
Yeah, I couldn't get
and
together.
Then the same thing happened last year. So this is the first time in 3 years that we're able to finally have a live audience. The benefit, though, of the live stream was that anyone, anywhere in the world could tune in real time. which was great in terms of exposure for the artists and then just creating a social media energy, right?
Yeah.
So we would talk to the people at home from the stage. We would tell them to dance and sing along and send us clips and tag us. So it was a lot of fun and it expanded our community.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll probably, always do it. And then for people who might have been around in the early days of Honey Jam and now full into adulthood and have kids and stuff, it's harder for them to be able to leave the house, more of an ordeal and expense if they live outside of the city. So they were really grateful to be able to just sit at home and tune in.
Be able to tap in. And you've had a multitude of huge artists that have passed through the Honey Jam and been on the Honey Jam stage, right? Like I'm looking at some of the names that have been on the stage, like Jessie Reyes, Melanie Fiona, Marsha Ambrosia.
Oh, those aren't people. Those are people who have come and spoken to us, not people who have been on the stage. So Melanie Fiona is definitely a Honey Jam alum.
Yep.
But the other people in our press kit that are listed there have come and spoken to the young artists.
What about Erykah Badu?
We took a bunch of artists to hear her talk. So we do artist talks with established artists where they talk about their journey in the industry.
So how did y'all start developing that part of it from it just being a show that was just supposed to be hey, let's just do a little wrap-up show.
Yes.
And then it developed into like workshops and, getting to meet like huge stars and hear them speak and stuff like that. Like, where did that come in?
So I need to be inspired and motivated. And I want to always see elevation and growth. So it kind of happened organically. But I can tell you the pivotal moment where the workshop idea started. I am the mama bear. So I'm standing and I'm watching the concert and I'll see the artist. This is the early 90s when we started coming down from the stage. And then I see the wolves go swoop and start with the, ooh, baby, I can make you a star. Just come by the studio around midnight and just sit here on the casting couch and all of that.
Yep.
And I was a bit horrified. And this is before the internet. So you can't really do like Googling people and find out who's for real and getting knowledge that way. And so we started, what we call it the Women in Urban Music seminar. And so all of the panelists were women. We wanted to remove any ulterior motive. So the people that are giving you knowledge are doing it because they want you to win and they want to, share with you the cautionary tales, the things you need to look out for, and give you the information that you need. So you're not wondering what's going on and, you're not the deer in the headlights, and that you have a layer of protection around you, people who you can go to for advice that don't want anything from you. So that's how that started. And then it just grew from there. When we started getting more financial support, because I just used to fund it for like maybe the first 10 or 15 years. We didn't have any sponsorship. So once sponsorship came, and then also some people were willing to do it for free because they wish there was something like this when they were coming up.
Yeah.
And because we're a nonprofit, so many, many, many hundreds of people donated their time to help and to be of service to the next generation. So we're very, very grateful for that.
That's dope. That's dope. And Villa.
Yes.
How does it feel being a Filipina rapper? Because I know it's a unique thing, right?
What was that?
Filipina.
Yes, I am.
Right?
Yes.
Is there a different kind of struggle in the rap game being a Filipina rapper?
I'd definitely say it's different.
Because there's not a lot of them. I never heard of a bunch of Filipino rappers.
And
right?
we definitely in our culture we definitely grew up with karaoke. So that was huge in our family. So we were always singing, and I was always singing in front of family or just strangers. So it was always that push of that. I remember when I was getting into the rap, I remember telling my parents about it, and I just wanted to make sure like they knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
But it came to a point where my dad was listening and he's like, wow, like he was really into the music. He liked my lyrics. He was smiling. He had this big smile that he had when I would be singing karaoke. So it definitely was, I felt like it was a little bit different because again, there's not many Filipina rappers, and I want to be that. I want to be that one that kind of comes out and makes a change a little bit in the scene. And especially for being a female artist and a Filipina rapper too, that there's a lot of curiosity to it. So I feel like people are going to get hooked and they want to know more.
I was looking at a list of some of the people that you're influenced by, right? Like,
yes.
Missy Elliott,
yes.
Nas,
yes.
Lauryn Hill. Freddie Mercury?
I could explain that. I know. It jumps from that to that. So I'm really inspired by Freddie Mercury, by his stage presence, the way how he moves a crowd. And because I am that tiny but mighty villa, I really liked how he moved the crowd with just like his Band-Aid concert was crazy. He was like, hey-oh, hey-oh, hey-oh. So from looking at that, I was like, wow, I want to do that. I want to be that person that can move a crowd, that can make a crowd sing just by this tiny little, girl here. But that also, there's a lot of energy into that I would love to experience. And I've already started to experience that energy feel within the crowd and me engaging. And I will start to learn a lot more with how to engage with the crowd and to see whether or not if someone is rocking with it or not, or do I need to start uplifting it or something. But yeah, that for him, the influence is definitely by his stage presence and just how he can rock a crowd.
Oh, that's dope.
Yes.
Dope. And with you, Ebonnie, like, you have...
Yeah, I can rock a crowd too.
You can rock a crowd? Hold on. Before I get to my question, I know everybody from the behind the scenes stuff, the producers, the DJs, the podcasters. We all got a few bars in our pocket somewhere. You got some bars somewhere that you used to rap, Ebonnie? Before you got into the whole organizing jams and stuff like that, you had a few bars.
Listen,
before.
I am so grateful that there was no YouTube, no smartphones, because once upon a time, I had some drinks and some stuff happened on stage and the footage is in an undisclosed location. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, but that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if you have because you never recorded or said, I want to be a rapper and then just switch to Dream.
I just told you something happened on stage. I'm talking about spitting bars at a honey jam.
You got to
and we'll leave it at that.
Got to release that secret dream right there. Okay. You expanded, right? You expanded the Honey Jam over the years, and I'm there looking at some footage, and we were speaking behind the scene about, us being Bajans and things.
Yes.
Right?
Motion is Bajan too.
Why? See that?
Yes.
We everywhere.
How you mean?
You ever come across Riri?
Interesting you should say that.
What's good, y'all? I hope y'all are enjoying this Honey Jam interview at the same time that I am. I'm watching it on the phone as we speak. We're going to be doing a giveaway when we get to 25,000 subscribers, okay? We're going to be giving away this cap right here, right? Dope cap right here, trucker cap. And we're going to be giving away a jacket and a whole bunch of other goodies, all right? So hit that subscribe button right now and let's get back to this interview.
Because I got her very first magazine cover.
Jeez.
For a Barbados magazine, the first year that she came out. And then I met her at that time and we got to present her with the magazine. She was 17.
Wow.
I think she's 34 or something now, 33-ish. So yeah, that was a while ago. I did get to meet her just that one time.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I asked that because y'all did like a Honey Jam Barbados.
Yes.
I was like, holy.
Yeah. ASAP is
dope.
Beijing too.
He is?
Yes.
Yo, that's so we're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yo, that's dope.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Like the Honey Jam Barbados, I'm sure that wasn't an easy undertaking right there.
No, nothing is easy, period.
Mm-hmm.
And then starting something new in another culture that more embraces soca and reggae. And for me, the Honey Jam brand is all genres. Mm-hmm. So wherever I might take it in the world, I want it to be true to the brand. So I wasn't sure how it would be received, but they loved it from day one. And I had always wanted to have that get with Riri, you know, but the bigger and bigger and bigger, you know, the layers form around people in terms of accessibility.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not a give up person. So when the time is right, it will happen.
Yeah. And I think the pieces are aligned because the fact that there's Honey Jam over here in Canada, right? It's founded over here in Canada. It's expanded to Barbados and who knows where else next, right?
Yeah.
And then her first connections are actually from here in Canada. Like the video, the Ponder Replay video was filmed over
Director
here, no?
X.
Right? So
we claim Director X as a Honey Jam alum, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen him in some old footage too.
Yeah, he did some of our early flyers.
Okay.
I met him when he was 17 and I was doing the Each One Teach One program.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to do our youth days and moderate those with the other teens at the time. So yeah, we have a kind of 30-year bond and he's amazing. He never, you know, he's like internationally known now. He is legend and icon status now, but he will still be an audition judge on a Sunday afternoon for Honey Jam, you know? So yeah.
No, salute to X. And with the years of Honey Jam that have happened, right? Can I get one of the most two-part question? One of the most exciting, like one of the most proudest moments that you've had at Honey Jam, and then one of the most difficult Honey Jam that you can remember to date. Like I wish this night would be over right now. Like I love what I'm doing, but like there's way too many things going wrong right now. So let's start with the bad one first, and then we'll end with the good.
The bad one is very easy. 2003. So one of the things many things I insist upon is starting on time, because I like to smash stereotypes. And the stereotype about Black people is that they're always late and disorganized and blah, blah, blah.
BPT.
So I'm trying to smash that. So we have a record that every single thing has been on time. You can count on truth in advertising. If the flyer says 8:00, it's not 10:00, right? So I am at home. I'm getting ready to go down for sound check. I get a call saying, "Oh, the power's gone off." And I'll probably be back in just a few minutes, because sometimes you get power outages like that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was across North America. The infamous shutdown.
The blackout.
The blackout. So I couldn't get on the subway. None of the street lights were working. I walked to the venue, still in my mind thinking, it's just going to be an hour or two. This is the day of the show. And then when I got to the venue, nobody would come and talk to me because they were just nervous about what my reaction would be. And I would say that was definitely a trying thing. People had been flown in from other parts of the country. People were flying in from the States to check out some of the artists. And you can't email people because there's no way to reach people. Yeah. It was crazy. So this was on a Thursday night, and then we wound up being able to do it that weekend. but people were told to stay home because of the rolling blackouts, right? Like it was partially on, partially out. Anyway, that was one of the most stressful honey jams that I am still recovering from.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yes.
And then the most proudest moment where you're like, I'm doing this shit, yo. Like, look at this stage. Like, wow.
I think the very first moment like that was in the early days. I think it would have been 96 or 97 when we were at Lee's Palace. And Jonathan Ramos was doing something called Hip Hop Sundays.
Salute to Jonathan Ramos.
And he invited us to do Honey Jam at Hip Hop Sundays. So before that, we had only done it in a tiny space that holds 100 people. And here we had 700 people, right? And so the proud moment was seeing the response from these hardcore heads that were just vibing. They could not believe how these women could spit. It was the first time many of them saw Tara Chase.
Salute to Tara.
And then for the end, we have the freestyle, the legendary Honey Jam freestyle finale, which went on longer than the show. So all of the women were on stage, and I think that's when I saw how much it meant to them. You know, because they weren't like the girlfriend waiting backstage for their man. They were the act on stage, owning their space, their power, their skills. And if you look at the footage, because I've got some footage of that, and you just can't help but have a huge smile on your face, you know? And so I remember Motion 2, she was like singing It's Ladies Night, and the men were just howling for us, and just everybody was one community. So that was a great defining moment to know you are doing something that has purpose and that means something to people, you know? And I'm proud every time if I go on Instagram, and I'll see just all of the accomplishments, you know, Kavaya Mighty getting the Juno, the first one of the night, and just breaking down barriers, things that we were barely even dreaming of almost 30 years ago when we started. And to see the things coming to fruition is very satisfying, very satisfying.
Oh, that's beautiful. And and this is a question for both of y'all, right? Can you all talk about the importance of creating a safe space? So for you, Ebonnie, like having this organization, that can create a safe space for women. And then for you, Villa, a place that you can go to, right? Honey Jam, and as well as just like finding a safe space for women to be able to be creative and not have any worries type of thing. Like, so let's start with you, Villa, and then like about this finding a safe space like Honey Jam. Like, what did that mean to you?
It meant a lot. Like, I'm even getting chills because we all know that the music industry can be a male dominated, or like the hip hop industry, for instance. Especially for me, I want to be known as a rapper in a way too. So, the fact that I'm even here with Ebonnie, you know, I still feel very safe. I feel this great energy, and, you know, she is very supportive of that. And yeah, it means a lot. Just because, you know, there could be some situations that could happen that I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. And, you know, the fact that I have Honey Jam and just the Honey Jam fam, you know, to go to, that it brings a lot of like safe space in my heart. And especially that with my emotions, I'm free to express myself.
Nice. That
there's no limitation and there's no barriers or eggshells I have to walk over, you know, because I've already been with a bunch of guys performing, and, you know, it's still different. You know, I still am that only female artist. And the fact that whenever I am here with Honey Jam and with the fam, great energy, you know, females empowering other females. That's what we love to see. And Like that's something that we need to keep building. And especially with all the artists, like the talent we have here in the city, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that there is a Honey Jam that is specifically for the female artists. And that was something that I was able to step up and, actually look at that and be like, wow, this is a great opportunity. I need to jump in on it and just go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely, I'm very happy, very, very happy. And I feel safe.
Nice. And with you, Ebonnie, like the importance of creating that space, because I know even from like my experiences as being a manager and even watching some of the footage of you talking about how a lot of times women, they get put in situations where the guy says he has one intention, but it never really be that. So a safe space needs to be created so that women can like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to have some guys who give me false promises and stuff like that. So can you talk to us about the importance of that from the creator standpoint?
So the first year that we started, someone in the media said to me, what are your hopes and dreams and what do you consider would be a success? What to you would be a success?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, success to me would be when we no longer need to exist, because we would be in that benevolent, equitable society where it's a meritocracy and you're not having all of those isms, sexism, racism, ableism, etc. So that's the utopian dream. And so I still want to see that happen. And one of the things that is very sad to me is that we're still far from it. And Jesse Reyes did a kind of a movie video for a song called Gatekeeper. And I remember watching that and just crying to see that is still going on and that women are still being placed in these unsafe situations, and that sometimes other women are complicit in allowing these things to take place.
Yeah.
So take the whole R. Kelly situation, right? There were women that were assisting him in being a pedophile and a predator with these young girls that just wanted to sing. So we often have these discussions with the artists about how to protect yourself from these things happening, and to just be smart about how they move in the world. So for me, even almost 30 years ago, I remember being at a hip hop conference in Atlanta, and a lot of people had suites and were taking meetings in their suite.
Mm-hmm.
And so a famous hip hop DJ said, come and meet me for the breakfast meeting, blah, blah. Sure. Went there, opened the door. He's in his robe. Boop. I'm out. See you at the workshop.
Yeah.
End of story. People would say, oh, why don't you come meet me at the studio around midnight or I'll swing by your place? No.
Yeah.
We'll meet for breakfast, lunch, public place that has an end time. I don't want you to know where I live. You teach people how to treat you, and you have to own your power. And sometimes people will make you think that they can blacklist you, that they can control your opportunities, that if you don't do what they want, that you're never going to succeed. And sometimes women who are insecure get caught up in that and they compromise themselves when you never, ever should. You never, ever have to. There's always another opportunity. So it's very important to me to spread that message and also to talk to men about being allies and about if they see something, say something. If they see their boys doing that stuff, because it's never going to change if men don't start checking other men.
Yeah.
Right? But I encourage women to not be victims. Don't let it happen to you, and do everything you can to not create a situation where you might be in an unsafe space.
That's real. That's real. Do you think that as women have a harder time gaining support in the game? And this is a question for both of y'all, right? Do you think that women have a harder time getting support when it comes to the music game or entertainment period?
I think it depends on what the game is, you know, and then who the woman is. Who are her connections? What are her qualifications? What are her goals? How is she coming across? What energy is she putting out? You know, to then determine, like I said, you teach people how to treat you. So you create boundaries, you claim your space, and you make the decisions about what you want and the trajectory of how you're going to get there.
And what about you, Willem? How do you feel about that? Like with women getting support, like having a harder time getting support in the game?
Yeah. I mean, I feel even just starting or just getting in the ball rolling, I feel that I do have to work a little bit more. I do have to work. Like I myself, I'm a hard worker. I need to be working 10 times harder than the rest of the guys, or, you know, just so I can stand out. But I feel, again, with like my values and making sure that I'm good at the end of the day with whatever I'm doing. The fact that I'm also a part of this group collective, it's all guys, but I'm the only girl. So I've shown a lot of power in that group where they definitely raise me as a queen, and they definitely protect me in a sense of they make sure I'm not alone. And for instance, it actually happened 2 days ago. We opened for Roni.
I just finished interviewing Roni. That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. We opened for him in Hamilton, and yeah, we were there, and the guys just never left me alone. Or when some of them would leave, there's always one person there with me, and they would make sure to see that they would see me, and you know, it really validated a lot. Where I was like, wow, okay, like I can see what they're doing.
Amazing.
So because we're even talking about this, it happened like not too long ago. So that's why I'm like, wow. It's the right people that you got to surround yourself with the right people, and like who your connections are, but especially, yes, like the closest people that you're around, they need to also make sure that you're good. And yeah, definitely.
A couple of things I'd like to say. So there are things that women have to deal with that a lot of male artists don't. So there's so much focus on appearance, right? Like nobody ever told Biggie that he needed to lose weight, ever. Yeah. Okay? But the aesthetic for women is something that's always talked about, and the pressure being put on them to be able to be what the beauty standard is that I don't see placed on men. Another thing is sometimes women are seen, like a label might say, we already have a female rapper. They'll never say that. They could have 5 successful male rappers and another one come along. They're never going to say, we already have successful male rappers, ever. Right? So it's almost like they're doing some kind of a favor,
it's like a token,
to have a female hip hop artist or even any artist. That there can only be one at a time.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when Sarah McLachlan started Lilith Fair, which was all female, and she was told by nobody wanted to book the festival because they said no one's going to come. Nobody wants to see more than one female act. Can you imagine this was actually said to her? Or radio stations would be like, oh, we already have a female country artist. We're not adding another one to the playlist.
Wow.
And she just blew that whole thing away, you know? But I don't believe in victimization. And so, yes, here's an obstacle. Boop. You just keep kicking, keep moving, keep pushing it down, keep finding a way in, around, under, through. Either you want something or you don't want it. No excuses. Imagine what people had to deal with 50 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
we have it so much better, and they were able to still make it through. So we can't be soft and wait for somebody to do the right thing. You know, we have to use our power, use our voice, and get it done by any necessary means.
Yeah. No, that's straight up. What about consistency? I complain a lot, like on my podcast. I can't say a lot, sometimes. Okay? Because I feel that sometimes women rappers have a consistency issue. It might have been, some of those might have been explained right now in our conversation that we've been having. But like, I'll see guys drop like 8 videos sometimes in like a month, it feels like. And I'm like, there's some women out here who are super talented, yet not as consistent. Is this just me seeing this, or is this a thing?
They might not have the hookups. It's a boys' club, right? And so their boy might have gone to school and knows how to do videos and is going to do the video for them for free or for the credits or for their bio or whatever. You know, it's a very cliquey type of thing.
Yeah.
And the women might not have that, right? Their friends might not be into that side of it where they could assist in doing that, you know?
Yeah. What do you think, Villa? Do you think there's a consistency problem when it comes to women in rap?
I feel that.
And do you mean the underground coming up?
Yeah.
Like Villa? Or are you talking about Nicki Minaj? Like, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about like on the way up, right?
Okay.
Like, from what we cover so many underground rappers or so many rappers who haven't, you know, they're known in the city or getting a little bit known in the city, but they haven't really broken that ceiling yet.
Right.
But in order to break that ceiling, you got to keep on hitting at it, right? So I'm like, come on, I want more. You know what I mean? Like, why did that happen?
I feel maybe we just we deal with other issues that are along our journey. And I mean, for myself, I still have my family, my friends, and I still want to juggle that. And I also want to get to a point where, again, consistency is key, and I want to do what the guys are doing, and they're dropping a song and then a music video and this. But also, I'm also, in a way, I'm building my kind of team too, and I'm still also finding those people. Like, I know a lot of the guys, they know someone that knows someone, or they know their friend that is this. But I always feel sometimes I feel if I'm in a room with guys and I try to say something, I might not get that kind of, you know, that quick reaction or quick connection that it just because I feel like because I'm a female, they may not take me serious. But again, I would like to change that, or I maybe have to prove myself in a way, like maybe I have to perform in front of them just to see that they're like, oh, wow, maybe I should work with her. Yeah. But I do get that feeling of, oh, if I try to connect with someone, maybe they might not want to vibe with me or something. Yeah. But again, I would also try and branch off and try to, again, find a videographer and photographer and all of that, producer. Yeah. But
finances is a real struggle.
Yeah.
So a lot of the guy cliques, you know, their friend is a producer and their friend also can do a video for them. That's tens of thousands of dollars.
And they don't rap.
That are being saved.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just access.
Yeah.
Right. But I still don't think anyone should be deterred. So if you don't have that in your clique, go to Ryerson and find out somebody there who's in the arts, who that's what they're studying to do. And maybe they can do it as a project. Like there's always a way. You know, when you think about Spike Lee and his first film that he did on a credit card.
Yeah, she's got to have it.
Yeah, like you just have to have that drive. You know, just don't compromise yourself. Don't compromise your integrity because it is going to come back to bite you. So, and reach out. Sometimes people have a hard time reaching out because they want to give the perception that they're balling out of control and it's all happening for them, just smooth like butter. And they don't want to reach out and say, I actually need some help. So I think, you know, we just have to be real. Be real with what your actual situation is, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah. No, I think like in this conversation here, we're learning a lot. And even with this last question here, you made some real great points. Like, I never really thought about that. Like, you can go into different members of like a guy's crew, and we're all kind of into the stuff, right? So like, yeah, I shoot videos. Oh yeah. But and not to stereotype or anything, but like a clique of girls, they're not like a videographer sitting there in the clique and a producer who's sitting there in the clique. Like, it's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's more unique when like I rap, and then the rest of your girls don't rap too. You know what I'm saying? It's not like 5 rappers in the crew. Like, I've never seen that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's the one girl in the crew who raps, and the rest of the girls, they support, but like, they're not like in the industry or into it like that. Like,
that makes a difference.
Freaking great point. Holy shit. Listen, I really enjoyed having this conversation here. And before we end it, I want to know, even with the Honey Jam here, what can we look to expect for this year's Honey Jam? And for the people who've already seen the Honey Jam, who are watching this after, what kind of feeling should they have gotten from this Honey Jam this year coming up?
Well, I think we deliver the same thing consistently every year, which is an amazing live experience. Live music, all different genres of music, different cultures of women, a kick-ass live band. And it's not even really something that I feel I can describe. But yeah, I think they should feel inspired, excited to support and be part of the fan base of a new crew of artists. And for the artists coming up to see this amazing platform that they might be able to be a part of one day. You know, it's a sisterhood, it's kind of a sorority. The Honey Jam fam is a forever thing. You know, I don't know if you saw Nelly Furtado on the OVO stage.
I was there. I taped it.
Yeah, so she did the concert in 1997.
Yeah.
And all of these years later, over 20 years, she said, feels like Honey Jam all over again.
Yeah.
She was on the bill, Julie Black, Michie Me, Melanie Durant, all Honey Jam alums. It's the never-ending story.
Yeah, no, that's dope. and with you, Billa, I want you to first shout out your group because you acronym them in like, you're like, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
Okay, so shout them out proper so they think you get their love out here.
Shout out to New Legends Music Group. That's NLMG.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've been very that definitely shout them out for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and what can we expect from you coming up in the future?
Well, definitely because of this whole live audition, this is going to be the biggest stage I've ever going to be on.
Dope.
And I'm
going to be on so far. Because you're going to do arenas in the future.
I would love to aim for that. And I'm going to work hard and be consistent and find those skills to work along that. But expecting stuff from me is you're going to get that surprise. There's an element of surprise that I bring that, again, maybe you might not pinpoint it yet, but you will keep wanting more.
Okay.
Should we have her give a little tease?
Oh, I don't mind. Can we get a little song?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Let's go.
Okay. Flip a coin that's 50-50. Are you with me? Two faces got the ugly and the pretty. Sit with me. I'll take you for a ride in my city. I'ma show you what I'm worth. Yeah, I'll show you that I'm strictly to business. Don't need a witness. Yeah, building bridges, becoming fearless. I'm so ambitious, clearing stitches I got from bitches who say they misses. They kissing at my feet. Yeah, they asking for forgiveness.
Okay. I like the cadence too. Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Listen, this is a very, very insightful conversation and joyful conversation for me here. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we got a lot of jewels, and the audience can go home with something after listening to or watching this interview right here. Give the people anywhere where you need them to find y'all, information-wise, all that good stuff. Let's start with you, Ebonnie.
Okay. So first I want to say I'm not wearing these glasses because I think I'm too cool for school. I'm just tired. So
working.
Yes, working really hard, and it's showing. So please follow us at The Honey Jam on Instagram. And hey, that's a bar right there.
Still rapping.
And then our website is honeyjam.com. So check us out, follow us, check our stories, check our highlights where you can see clips from different things that we've done. Mm-hmm. And stay tuned.
So what about you, Villa? Where can they find you?
My Instagram is villa.music, and that's VILLAH.music.
Dope.
And then the other artist collective page is New Legends Music Group _. And we have an NLMG.promo that also ties in with it. But mine is villa.music.
Dope.
Yeah.
Honey Jam, Ebonnie Rowe, Villa in the building. I need y'all to make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share this across all your socials. Let the people know, say that we're dropping gems over here at the We Love Hip Hop Network, and we're off this.
Yes.